Hey crafters, in this tutorial I'll be explaining the slice tool. Now the name of this tool pretty much tells you what it does. It's a way of taking two images and slicing one out of the other. The easiest way to think of it is cutting a slice out of a cake. So here on my canvas I've got this circle, so think of this as the cake, and this triangle, which is the slice that we want to cut out of the cake. And all you have to do is layer one image on top of the other, select them both, and then choose the slice tool from this menu on the right hand side. And you'll see it has taken that triangle and sliced it out of this circle. And you can see that is how this triangle would reconnect. There's the cake with the slice taken out, and you actually end up with two versions of the slice because it didn't delete your original image or your original layer. And because Design Space does this, because it doesn't delete this original layer, you'll always end up with two of whichever image you've done the slice with. This also means that it doesn't matter what order your layers or images are in. So for example, we did it with the triangle on top of the circle, but you could just as easily have had the circle on top and done the slice, and it will do the exact same thing. You'll just get two of the slices and the remainder of the cake. So that's how slice works. Let me talk you through some of the nuances. So here, Cricut is concerned with your health. It will not let you take two slices out of the cake at the same time. So here I've got a cake, I've got one slice here, one slice on the top. And if I highlight all three of these, you can see slice, it's grayed out, it's not active. And that's because I've got too many layers. You can only slice with two layers or images. So if we remove one of these to the side, and now we've only got two, and you can see slice has become active. So another example of this, here I've got two images. I've got my cake and I've got my slice. Let's layer the two. If I select everything, you can see that slice is actually not active. Now that's because, although it looks like two layers, this cake, it has this score line attached, and that means it's actually registering as two different layers. So if you're ever stuck with doing slice, it's not active for you, always check, do you have more than two layers? And a good way of being sure about this is click on your image and then come over to the layers panel on the right hand side. And here you can see that we've got the circle for the cake, but then we've also got this score line, and they are attached together. Now the only way you will be able to do the slice is if you detach the score line, and then if you select it, hide it, bring the two images back together that you want to slice, and when you highlight, now you see slice is active, and you can go ahead and do your slice. Then you can turn your score line back on and reattach. Now I would always suggest that if you've got multiple layers, especially when it's a score line, for example, say you're making a box and it's got score lines on it for where you're going to fold the sides, I wouldn't detach layers and then move the score lines out of the way to do your slice. And that's because your score lines need to be in a very specific place, particularly with boxes, and if you move them, then getting them back in the right alignment will be difficult. And you can just do this instead by detaching the score line and then just hiding it. And that way, once you've done your slice or whatever edit you're making, you can turn the score line back on and reattach everything. So some ideas for how you might use slice. It's a way of removing unwanted sections of an image. So say you wanted to make this tree trunk a bit shorter, you could slice the lower half away with using a shape. So I've used a square, hit slice, and then you'll see you've now made your tree trunk shorter. Another example, for which I have a full tutorial on my page, I'll link it in the comments and at the end of this video. But to do a little bit of decoration, so I've got a pillow box here and I've found this lattice image, and if I slice one out of the other like this, then you get, quite a nice shape in your pillow box. You might also use the slice tool to create frames, for example. So here's a square. You could take a duplicate, make it a bit smaller, and then align the two in the center, slice, and then there you have quite a nice frame. Another idea for using the slice is perhaps if you want to make a stencil. So you can take your 2 layers and slice one out of the other. And then when you go to make it, you can use this layer here as a stencil for maybe doing some painting. So that's it. That is the slice tool explained. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. But till next time, happy crafting!